Hello, children. Good morning and welcome to my day in sunny Central Texas. Can't spot any clouds from where I'm sitting at the moment, but I'm about to go in and do my early voting. And if you want to hear about a cloud, I hear there's already voting fraud being found out. That don't make me happy. That means that there's somebody out there who cares about their results more than they care about your right to vote as you please. And that's wrong. Now, I believe that I need to go across here to the Hampton Inn and Suites because, well, that's where people are walking back and forth to. I'm over here at the Holiday Inn Express because that's where there's parking, and I'm in the shade. Your vote is important. Your vote is important to me. Nothing should be allowed to water down your vote, which is why it's such an issue to insist on voter ID law. The only reason not to support voter ID laws is because you want non-citizens to vote. I don't want half of China to go on vacation and vote here, because you know how that will turn out. I don't want Mexico to vote here without immigrating properly. There's a lot of U.S. citizens who don't have a vote because they have wasted it being murderers, criminals, whatever. And there are people trying to put the vote back in their hands. To an extent, I can agree with that. Somebody who did something stupid and got caught with some amount of drugs when they were 18 should not be deprived of their rights forever. But there are some people who do some things that they should permanently have their right for every kind of vote removed, which is why so many of these people wind up in Congress, because that's the only way they can have a say in anything. These things are worth thinking about because it makes a difference in your life. Voter fraud should be one of those things that permanently removes your right to vote. And depending at the level of the voter fraud, some people would like it to be harsher than that. I mean, felonies, jail time. It's crazy, y'all. In other news, that is the most cut down Jeep I have ever seen. Someone lowridered a Jeep. Or they Jeeped up a UTV, I'm not sure which. It's cute. And it's being towed behind an e-truck. And I already had this set video mode facing me, so I didn't get a shot of it. And judging from, like I said, where people are walking to, I think I need to walk over here. I could have had a shorter walk, but I checked over here for parking before I checked behind that one. That's okay. It won't hurt me to get the steps in. I can leave my coffee out here because it will stay warm while I vote. And now I've already soured my mood a little bit thinking about the voter fraud that's already being seen. And that is something everybody should be concerned with. If your party does not respect my right to vote, then how much are they respecting yours? Because they might say, oh, go vote for this candidate. And then they might be doing something to make sure that candidate gets in. And then that candidate will do things that are not respectful of your life and your choices. I don't care who it is or which side of the aisle. If they can't represent us as they are supposed to, then we don't need to be supporting them in any way. And that's as political as I feel like getting. Now, I went over here to my other tire shop first because something online said they had the correct tires. I get over there, and the young man's looking for them, looks at the tires I've got on, and says, we don't have them. And he starts trying to sell me these ones that they do have in hand. They're not quite a match, but they're really close and a little bit cheaper. I want to match the tires I have on. They will have 2 more of the tires I actually want sometime between noon and 2. So I'll be over there with some kind of lunch in hand at about noon. I might hit a grocery store for some hard-boiled eggs and ready-to-go meat or something. I can't eat raw unless I put a generous amount of salt on it. Because, let's face it, we just don't consume the blood that we used to. And people used to make blood sausages and whatnot, and actually, Britain, they still do. But you can't find that stuff here. You can't even get a proper haggis in the U.S. because the lungs are discarded. Although if I ever wind up in the U.K., I will certainly try it. If I can find some made with barley instead of oats, which I'm told is an acceptable change. That's still more carbs than I need, but just to say I've eaten haggis. I mean, that's as much reason as I had for trying rattlesnake, which was overcooked and very dry because somebody was a horrible cook. And that was at a 4th of July event in Andrews, which is a lot closer to where Bob will soon be than where I am currently. Bob typically has a lot of good information on his channel. Now, if he put some thought into it, he could be doing some very trucker-friendly and traveler-friendly information on his channel, because that's what he used to do. That's why he's semi-retired Bob. So when he couldn't drive anymore, he was semi-retired. He blames that on a sibling or cousin or something. And, fine, whatever, I'll go with it. He's not switching to prepper retired Bob. He's semi-retired Bob off-grid carnivore now. That's fine, he can do what he wants. But I figured I would stop before I go and vote, give a little information. And then I've got stuff that doesn't matter very much to do to keep me busy for a little while. And then, like I said, I may or may not get something to eat, because I will be sitting at the tire shop for a while they get started. Especially since I also want the alignment checked before I take off with the daughter-in-law next weekend. And I gave Loki just a little bit of a hard time today. He's complaining about everything the RV needs before it can be put back into regular use. It's been sitting for a long time. And we probably have some of the water-related stuff and sewage-related stuff dry rotting because we haven't been using it. Well, then we need to start going through that stuff bit by bit. And the tanks will need drained, and the freshwater tank will need refilled, and it'll need winterized anyway. And there's just so much to do. But it's worth doing. We essentially have a second home, if we have it in a condition to use it. Now, at the time we got it, his mom was so close to the shoreline down by Corpus Christi that storm surge could be an issue. Hurricanes rolling in could be an issue. Not an issue now. She's over by Lubbock with the second brother. I think occasionally she spends some time in California because the third brother is in Bakersfield. Not a big deal. And there's seriously some good food to be had around Lubbock and Amarillo. I don't know if she ever gets up around Amarillo, but there is definitely some good food to be had. It's Texas, y'all. We got a little bit of everything. We've got Ethiopian restaurants. We've got Middle Eastern restaurants. We've got... I don't think I've seen a Norwegian place, but that's okay. If you can find the recipes online, you can make it. There's a French place down in Corpus Christi. I'm pointing south. That's behind me. South is behind me, and it's a long way down there. Long trip. Now, Kerrville this weekend is going to be 2.5 hours down, 2.5 hours back, and just running around in town down there. There's a dinner we're going to on Friday. She has picked out something she would like to go try on Saturday, and they do have a fair amount of Italian on the menu. I looked at the link, I looked at the menu. Ossobuco is usually a safe bet for me. And then I saw something else on there, which is technically a sandwich, but I can always peel out the bread and eat it up with a fork. But some good tender beef. Beef is always a good option. I didn't see any rack of lamb or anything like that. But they've got Italian food, so I'd still have to be careful because someone might decide to roll the entire thing in fennel. Or the entire menu could be contaminated with cilantro and coriander. And then I would be the next reason there's a ambulance call out at their restaurant. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the reason an ambulance has to roll up at anyone's restaurant. But the fact is, if you're having enough of a reaction that's your only option, that's what you do. Is you use what you've got on you, and then the ambulance rolls, and they give you some more of the same stuff. Yeah, I carry injectors in my left side thigh pocket right now. That's one of the reasons I wear cargo pants when I'm not wearing workout pants. It's a thing worth considering if you need to keep a little zippered pouch with your injectors and whatever. I've even got a pulse oximeter in there, which will let people know if I'm going bradycardic, tachycardic. You never know what's happening with somebody. If they don't feel well, you can check that and you will know if they're getting enough oxygen and if their pulse rate is going crazy in one direction or the other. And you can get those handy dandy things on Amazon. I don't use it a lot. I shouldn't have to use it. But I have occasionally handed one to my daughter because she has asthma and allergies. and a tendency towards, I'm trying to think if it was bradycardia. Bradycardia is a slower heart rate than it should be. Oh, there's a tiny wisp of a cloud straight ahead of me. Yeah, we're going back to hot temperatures here real soon. And yeah, I am going to head over there and vote. I will stop where one of these actual candidate for I think he's either running for constable or something, but he's in law enforcement. And then I saw a Kamala Harris fan on the other side. You can't pay me enough to vote for that one. She was previously in Congress and not doing anything good for the country. And then she was a VP and pretty much dropped off the map. No one knew where she was or what she was doing. I don't want people who are going to do that to us. So even within party, I would not be voting for that one. Not my party. And I think if I espoused that one, that my dad would probably cry and pray for my soul. I don't have a problem with my dad praying for me. Such is life. But y'all, whenever the early voting starts in your area, make sure you use your vote before someone else does. Because that is the height of voter fraud. Park a little further away, get your exercise in, gentle exercise, as often as is realistic for you. And rest days in between. If you can get a workout in 3 times a week, whether it's going to the gym, going to martial arts, or walking around the block, get that exercise. Get something. I'm going to be walking over there. I might just walk as far as this law enforcement candidate, find out that I need to turn around and walk back over here to the Holiday Inn. That's okay. I'm going to get my ID and my voter registration card out first and tuck them into my wrist brace. I am wearing it today. As much as I like the KT tapes for range of motion and stuff, my wrist still hurts. I'm not sure what I did to it. It might have been one of the days we were doing sword. We've done a lot of fan, and that has some funky hand movements too. And I need to be practicing my chin. I'm going to miss my class Saturday morning because I'll be off with daughter-in-law. It's been forever since I've done something with her, so this is important. She needs to know that she is thought of and loved. She's running out of people. She's still got her mom. She's still got her brothers. She might wind up being caretaker of one of her brothers. But at least he's got someone to go to, right? And that would be a difficult transition. But at least the boy has met my son. My son gets along with her family. I don't know what shape everyone is in, but there are gaps already. So his choices are getting more and more limited. Although if he gets to the point of being functional enough to move out, that'll be great. He could wind up in a group home, something. And it's a difficult transition for some people to move into any other kind of situation. But he knows his sister and he's met my son. But traveling with him, getting him down here, and reaching the point that he would be comfortable with the change in his life would be difficult. These are things you have to think about in advance. Traveling with special needs is not easy. Okay, y'all do what you need to do. Vote. Keep your eyes open. Do not participate in voter fraud. Do not encourage voter fraud. Do not allow it around you. It ranks right up. Do not lie, cheat, or steal. Do not lie about what you're doing or seeing. Do not cheat an election that is trying to get things done right. Do not steal other people's vote. So do not lie, cheat, or steal. These are standards that should be part of everybody. The reason this stuff happens so much is because it's not standard anymore. We need to push this kind of thinking. Standards are supposed to be standards for everybody. Longer walk, multiple curbs. I'm going to bring my cane. It's nothing special. It's just a hardwood cane, but it's still a weapon if I need one. I'm going to climb out my vehicle now. Y'all, eat something you need to eat. Do what's making your life better. Grandma loves you and wants you to be okay. All right? Bye-bye.